Luck with that one. Now, news this week from across the channel is that married couples in France could end up with criminal records for insulting each other during arguments. Now, under the new law, psychological violence, they're calling it, within marriage will be banned. The law's expected to cover every kind of insult, including repeated rude remarks about a partner's appearance, false allegations of infidelity and threats of physical violence. Fair enough, I think. So how hard do you find it rowing with your partner to not get too personal, to not be nasty to them?
Well, we've only had 2.5 rows in 18 months. Yeah, one wasn't really a row because we were drunk. So when you're drunk, it doesn't count really because you're just, you know, you're just... and then you never remember what it's about anyway. But no, do you know what? I can't get personal in rows. I just... You know, I know everybody has got their sort of Achilles heel, something that you know you can say or attack and it will hurt them. But quite why you'd want to deliberately, even if you're in a really, really bad mood or a temper or anything, why would you want to deliberately really hurt somebody that you were in love with? And I wouldn't do it. I mean, it would always probably be at the back of my mind, but I wouldn't do it. And I have to say, I don't think I've ever done it in my whole life.
What, was there anybody else you haven't ever done it?
I think probably once, but even then it wasn't a personal attack. It was just something based on truth that I knew they didn't want to hear. You know, that's it. I won't tell you what it is, but it was something that was true.
You'd tell them what you think, but it wouldn't be nasty. See,
yeah, but sometimes do you even do that?
Well, because I think because you know that your partner's Achilles heel, you know what buttons to press, and because you want to win a row. There's no point having a row if you don't want to kind of win it, in my opinion. Well, you know, because you think you're right. That's why you're having a row, isn't it? Because you go, no, you're wrong, I'm right.
It's not about winning, though, is it? It's about resolving.
Yes, but, you know, Eamon and I are both quite fiery, so I think it depends on the couple. We're both quite fiery, so we will say things in a row that are quite mean and nasty. And I know what would upset him, and he knows what, you know, my vulnerable points or things that I would hate him saying about me. But then, actually, it's forgotten, so we don't dwell on it. I don't sulk for days. And almost there's a safety in the fact that because we both do it, it's almost like you can go, yeah, bleh, and it's done because he knows I don't really mean it, and I know he doesn't really mean it.
But you see, that's the fear, isn't it? It's where
it's out there.
It's out there, and it's another time when somebody said, but you said 2 weeks ago that I'm a da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and it's the coming back, you know. I mean, I hate it, and I used to have a really bad temper, a real red mist, and then lose it completely and not know what I've said. You know, just screaming, hitting, throwing, you know, televisions, doorposts, cars, anything.
Your husband was, or ex-husband, well, not quite ex-husband, but he was quite controlling, it seems. So did you find that you know, obviously what they're talking about, this is quite serious. I mean, we're looking at the lighter side of it.
Yeah.
But, you know, psychological abuse and things within a relationship, it is a form of domestic violence. That's what they're saying. It's a form of domestic violence, but it can really affect a person if somebody you think is being mean to you. It's kind of
I think if you're with somebody
damage.
who is controlling and that they can stand there and watch you lose your temper and smile, then I think that can bring that out of you. And I defy anybody not to come back at somebody who would do that to you.
Jane, are you a shouter?
Well, no, I don't like confrontation, and I would rather talk it out. But there is nothing worse than walking on eggshells every day. I think sometimes you have to confront and get it out in the open, whatever is bugging you.
But would you be mean?
I wouldn't be mean about it, no. I just don't think that's in my nature. And I
have had done to you?
Oh, God, yeah. I had this one partner who used to just wind me up just to get a reaction from me. And I used to think that is the worst thing you can do because that's not in my nature. And he used to just dig and dig and dig until I would just lose it with him. And he'd say, you see, I knew I'd get a reaction, and then I could kill him for that.
But you can't be around people like that. I mean, I've had people in my life like that, and, you know, it's so stressful. It really does give you proper stress, and you have to get rid of them. But even so, even when they would wind me up to the point of, you know, explosion, I still would never say anything really
I'm feeling you are right, though. What you need to do, you need to remove people from your life who make you like that.
You do.
And that's what I did. You just removed them and you're never around them again. And
am I the only mean one here?
No, but you're both mean together.
Darling, you know that thing I said to you this morning? That really...
She does love you.
We're taking a break now.